Las Vegas, Nevada, September 28, 2023. Danette L. Antonacci, having been first duly sworn to faithfully and accurately transcribe the following proceedings to the best of her ability. The foreperson, let the record reflect that I have canvassed the waiting area and no one has appeared in response to notice of intent to seek indictment. Mr. DiGiacomo. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mark DiGiacomo. I'm a deputy district attorney here in Clark County. I'm here to continue the presentation of the matter in 22 Siege J117X. We now have a new proposed indictment. It is marked as 1A. The charges are exactly the same. The elements are exactly the same that you were previously instructed. I think we've been here now 7 times, but over the 7 times we've been here you were instructed at the beginning of that. It's my understanding that there are some grand jurors that weren't present for all 7, but that all grand jurors have had an opportunity to review transcripts from any day that they were not present. Seeing no indication to the contrary, I have some final instructions to give you as it relates to one piece of evidence, or one area of evidence I should say, and then also to give you instructions on some additional elements that apply to the gang enhancement, as that is something I'm not sure how many times you've been instructed on, as I don't normally present gang cases. So that being said, a conspiracy to commit a crime does not end upon the completion of the crime. The conspiracy continues until the conspirators have successfully gotten away and concealed the crime. Whenever there is slight evidence that a conspiracy existed and the defendant was a member of the conspiracy, then the statements and acts by the person likewise a member may be considered by the jury as evidence in the case as to the defendant found to have been a member, even though the statements and acts may have occurred in the absence and without the knowledge of the defendant, or even prior to the defendant joining the conspiracy, provided such statements and acts were knowingly made and done during the continuance of such conspiracy and in furtherance of some object or purpose of the conspiracy. Then, as it relates to the gang enhancement, you are instructed that if you find probable cause that the defendant is criminally liable for murder, you must also determine whether or not the offense was committed with the intent to promote, further, or assist a criminal gang. In determining whether or not the crime was committed with the intent to promote, further, or assist a criminal gang, you must determine the following: whether the aforementioned gang is a criminal gang, whether the crime was committed knowingly for the benefit of, at the direction of, or in affiliation with, a criminal gang, and 3, whether the crime was committed with the specific intent to promote, further, or assist the activities of the criminal gang. A criminal gang means any combination of persons, organized formally or informally, so constructed that the organization will continue its operation even if individual members enter or leave the organization, which 1. Has a common name or identifying symbol, 2. Has a particular conduct, status, and customs indicative of it, and 3. Has as one of its common activities engaging in criminal activity punishable as a felony, other than the conduct which constitutes the primary offense. Finally, I know I've repeatedly instructed you throughout this case, as you've heard evidence of other criminal acts, or what we call bad acts of Mr. Davis. I'll give one final instruction on that. It's similar to the ones given before. Evidence that the defendant committed offenses other than that for which he is on trial, if believed, was not received and may not be considered by you to prove that he is a person of bad character or to prove that he has a disposition to commit crimes. Such evidence was received and may be considered by you only for the limited purpose of establishing defendants' membership and rank in the South Side Compton Crips. Is there anybody who has any questions before I ask you to deliberate? Seeing no questions, I'd ask you to deliberate. Thank you. At this time, all persons other than members of the grand jury exit the room at 8:34 a.m. and return at 8:35 a.m. The foreperson, Mr. District Attorney, by a vote of 12 or more grand jurors, a true bill has been returned against defendant Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Kef D, charging the crimes of murder with use of a deadly weapon with the intent to promote, further, or assist a criminal gang in grand jury case number 22 Siege J117X.